What's going on? We back once again. Motor City Sports Talk in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. I'm going to talk a little bit some Detroit Lions draft talk. I've been doing a little bit of research. I've been more of the free agent grind right now. Until the combine come around, I think it's March 1st through the 4th. So hopefully, God willing, we will be around to cover it. But don't forget, we on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can reach out to the email if you ever want to get in contact with me for a business venture, a video request, or you just got a question or a business inquiry. You can hit me up on all those social media platforms. In addition to that, don't forget to check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV is my main channel. But I appreciate everybody for checking in. And let's talk about the number 8 pick for the Detroit Lions. Um, like I said, I'm not entrenched in the draft like I probably should be around this time, but I've been working on the free agent tip so far. So I've been killing the free agent game. So hopefully everybody enjoying the free agent spotlights. And I'm starting to really watch tape on a lot of these guys. And one guy I just got done watching tape on is Josh Allen. He is a fucking animal. Uh, I like Josh Allen. Um, I like Montez Sweat. You know what I'm saying? I like him as well. Um, Rashad Gary is straight. You know, you could trade back and probably get Gary, but I don't know. Pass rushers are usually a dime a dozen, but um, just to kind of talk about the pass rushers, and also, I think everything is in play on the board at number 8 for the Detroit Lions from offensive lineman, and normally I wouldn't say tight end, but with our history and Bob Quinn and Patricia said that could be a possibility. Yeah, I mean you got guys like Ed Oliver, Rashad Gary. Who else you got? Our Dexter Lawrence from Clemson, who I think he had a little bit of a drug issue, so that he may fall back. We know if you got a character issue, the Lions probably won't mess with you. You talking about defensive end. Um, Nick Bosa is probably the prized possession. Farrell from Clemson is pretty good. So you got some options in there as well. You're talking about keep going through here. Uh, the kid from Florida, Jawan Taylor, I heard is like one of the top offensive tackles in here. Jonah Hill from Alabama. Uh, Noah Fant and T.J. Hockenson from Iowa, two good tight ends. Irvin Smith Jr. from Alabama is another good one. Just going through receiver, I'm not sure. On a running back, Josh Jacobs, he from the Oklahoma area, played in Alabama. He's one of those dudes that's that's highly thought of. And then we got Mike Weber. I believe he from Detroit. Ohio State, speedy guy. I think that's kind of the running back the running Lions to look to pair with Kerryon Johnson. He'd be going later in the draft. It look like maybe second, third. We'll see. And like I said before, let me continue to go through the list. Um, One second, I'll get to the chat. Like I said before, Josh Allen is an animal. And then you got some people talk about Devin White, Devin Bush, Mac Wilson linebackers. All from Mac Wilson from Alabama, Devin White, LSU, Devin Bush from the University of Michigan. You go cornerback, Greedy Williams, Byron Murphy, Trayvon Mullins from Clemson, Byron Murphy from Washington. We all know Greedy from LSU. Kid from Georgia, DeAndre Baker. Um, and pretty much, like I said before, free agency is really I focus on free agency because free agency is really the key to what we're gonna do in the draft. Free agency is like a process elimination. They bring in, Jadeveon Clowney just hypothetically, then they probably not gonna be taking a defensive end top of the draft. So just stuff of that nature. Lord above, what's going on? Appreciate the support, my brother. Hold on, somebody just sent me something. Yeah, I seen that. Man, what's going on? Trade back, Penn, Bob Sponge, what's going on? Appreciate it. Um, Draft LJ Scott in the 7th. Yeah, he got to have ups and downs with Michigan State, but let's talk about just Josh Allen character. He was hot towards the end of the season, um, with a lot of by a lot of Lions fans, and it like he gonna go like at least top 5, number 3. Two of the top 3 picks look like they're going to be Nick Bosa and Josh Allen, two pass rushers. But Josh Allen is a hell of a player. Um, I mean, the electricity he bring off the edge kind of reminds you of Khalil Mack. I think he might be a little bit more athletic than Khalil Mack when I remember looking at him in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more athletic. It seemed like coming off the edge, and maybe it's just my eyes is deceiving me. But his acceleration, he got good speed rush, good control, able to dip and turn power into speed. He got that bend and athletic ability to get after the quarterback. And instantly he would kick Devin Kennard out of his role with the Lions as that that Russian linebacker that occasionally drop into coverage. He would make Devin Kennard go to the line or go to the backup, and he bring a lot of speed off the edge, a lot of power, 6'5", 260, senior, so he's a mature guy. Don't seem to have a lot of character issues. So if he falls to the Lions, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer getting Josh Allen. The draft, I think they pushed it back. I'll exactly tell you where it is, and I'll be happy if the draft come to Detroit. I would try to make accommodations to make it, but I know it's in April. Let me see. April 25th, Thursday ends April 27th. So yeah, we're about a couple months away. But then like Nick Bosa, I didn't evaluate Nick Bosa. I've seen a lot of Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is a hell of a player. Obviously fits the need, but obviously Nick Bosa is going to be gone unless it's some physical injury issues with him. And his brother was injured, with the Los Angeles Chargers. But they some if Nick, I'm gonna just say off rip, if Nick Bosa and Josh Allen somehow falls to the Detroit Lions, it's a no-brainer. It's the 25th. The 25th, I'm looking at it. It's the 25th through the April 27th. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It used to be Saturday and Sunday. For all the older guys out there, man. I turned 30 next month. It used to be. I remember I used to, as a kid, I used to legitimately treat it like as an event. I used to give me a pizza, some nachos, and I was sitting to watch the draft the whole weekend. And that's when I really, really had time to watch college ball. No, it's the 25th. It's the 25th. I'm telling you, it's April 25th. Starts at 9 p.m. and starts on a Thursday. I'm looking dead at it. So I remember I used to treat it like as an event. I don't watch as much college football as I used to. For whatever reason that is, you grow up, you mature, you got other shit to do. Free agency I think begins on my birthday, but let me double check. Let me tell you that right now. Let me see. Let me see. Give me a minute. Uh, it said March 11, 13 clubs are permitted to contact and enter negotiations uh, with the certified agents of players who will become unrestricted free agents upon the expiration of their 2018 contracts at 4 p.m. New York time, Eastern Standard Time, on March 13th. March 13th, prior to 4 p.m. New York time, clubs must exercise options on all players. I think March 13th is the day free agency kicks off. Yeah, March 13th is the day it kicks off. So yeah, it's officially you can start signing guys. March 12th, I think you can start negotiating, or 11th you can start negotiating. So yeah, people saying trade back. For me, the Lions are in a position to take the best player available. I think things are going to fall different in the draft. Mark Cunningham, salute. I see you. If I pronounce your name, I'm just call you Nag. What's going on? Richie Light, what's going on? Fred Jackson, Manuel, Jose Garcia, what's going on? Oh, you mean Kyle Murray? I will believe that is to be a fact, and I'm gonna say now that's what I'm about to get at about Kyle Murray. The thing about it is, I think the quarterbacks will rise, and let's talk about them. Let's start off there. I think the quarterbacks have the ability to change this draft and drop guys that they usually won't drop. Now it's a couple wild cards here. Nick Bosa's physical. How does he check out? He injured himself. How does he run? How does he stack up? If Nick Bosa has any injury or is any question, he will fall. I tell you that right now. He will fall. Another reason to make Nick Bosa and to make Josh Allen's fall, and guys like that'll fall, give you hope to stay at 8. Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Murray, Drew Lock, it's a kid from Auburn too, Jared Stidham. Watch for him as well. Will Greer. I believe, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna kind of break this down into 2 parts real quick. I believe outside of Murray and Haskins, it's gonna be a quarterback that rise. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a quarterback that rise other than those 2 that's getting inside the top 10. I'm telling you, it's going to be another quarterback that rise that may permit the Lions to move back and get picks, or it may be a quarterback that forces a Nick Bosa, a Josh Allen, a Montez Sweat, some of those tackles to come down. I think it's going to be an offensive lineman that go up pretty fast. We just talking about some of these dudes that may fall. I think you got to watch for a tackle, interior lineman. Last year, I believe the Indianapolis Colts took an interior lineman. What's his name? Quentin Williams or whatever it was from Notre Dame. He changed their fortunes in the run game. So usually the NFL is a copycat league. The NFL, they copycat year after year. So in the top 10, what we looking for here is that the Lions don't need to trade back too soon, okay? Because it may be an opportunity that, like I said, one of those quarterbacks that, and I'm telling you, one of the guys to look at for, and I'm going to talk about this down the line, is the kid from Auburn, Jared Stidham. That's the guy to look at for a number of reasons for the Lions. And like I said, I'll kind of allude to that today. But between Stidham, Will Greer, Daniel Jones, and Drew Lockett, one of those are going to creep up in the top 10. I'm telling you that right now. That one of those guys is going to creep up into the top 10. When that happens, that means guys will fall. You're looking at Allen, you're looking at Bosa, you're looking at Sweat. The Lions are going to have their pick of the litter at number 8 because the lineman will go. So we're looking at Ed Oliver. We're looking at Montez Sweat, and I'm going to talk about him. You can look at Nick Bosa could fall due to injury, and then you're going to have the Combine Warriors. You know what I'm saying? No, John Ross is available for trade, not a free agent. Then you have the Combine Warriors. You're going to have somebody that rises. You're going to have guys that fall. Guys that don't run the 40 that fast. Guys that don't lift that fast. Guys that's not that agile. Guys are going to rise and fall. But just because you're not that fast and medical's going to come out, red flags going to come out, you're going to have a lot of shifting from the combine. You're going to have somebody that tear their ACL, pull a hammy, that's going to get injured. You're going to have several things happen in the draft. So these draft boards, that's why I don't like to do them too early. These draft boards, and I will do a mock draft on my other channel and this channel for the Lions, a full mock draft. But these draft boards are going to drastically change because I'm telling you, you're gonna have risers, fallers, red flag injuries. So the Lions at number 8 can be in a great opportunity to have a pick of their litter. I heard about the guy from Ole Miss, DK Mattel Calf, whatever. But for me, it's a receiver not even an option here. Okay, receiver is not an option unless they looking to trade Marvin Jones. But I wouldn't even look at receiver at number 8 unless we move back and got multiple picks or something like that. But that's the whole thing about it. Marvin Jones would be a great trade to the Pats, but like I said before, Marvin Jones ain't the problem. Marvin Jones sustained an injury in camp, never was the same. Aaron Rodgers sustained an injury early last year, he never was the same. People overlook those 2 injuries that they sustained early in the year. And if they trade Marvin Jones, it ain't gonna mean nothing. And I'm gonna do a video about this. Okay, at the end of the day, look at your quarterback. It's a perfect time to transition here. Look at your quarterback. Okay, your quarterback had Calvin Johnson. He had Nate Burleson. He had all these different weapons over the years. Reggie Bush, Joey Bell, ton of guys. At the end of the day, at what point do you say is Matthew Stafford fucking for? At what point do we stop blaming Scott Linehan, stop blaming Joe Lombardi, stop blaming Jim Bob Cooter, stop blaming Jim Caldwell, stop blaming all these guys? At the end of the day, the reason Stafford got paid, I don't believe it was Bob Quinn's decision. The reason the Detroit Lions paid Stafford is because the Fords like Stafford as a person. He don't have any character issues. They love his family. They have a rapport on him. It's personal. Because can't nobody be a fuck up for 10 years unless they got the complexion for the selection, which he does. But can't nobody fuck up like him for 10 years and still sustain a job. At the end of the day, all these weapons that's changing around him, the one constant with Ndamukong Suh being gone, Calvin Johnson being gone, the one constant is Matthew fucking Stafford. Okay? And what I'm talking about is at number 8, if Kyle Murray there, I'm taking him. At number 8, if Dwayne Haskins there, I'm taking him. At the end of the day, it's time to build the future. It's time to start building the future. It's time to start putting heat on Matthew Stafford, and I will start to allude to that in the Fridge Spotlight. I will do one on Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think he's good enough to really push or wake Stafford worry. But a guy that I really like is Jarrett Stidham from Auburn. That they can get probably in the. I think he's gonna rise into the second, third, fourth round. He may rise into the top 10. I like him a lot. I think he's a transfer kid. But like I said before, if I like what I see from Haskins and I like what I see from Murray on tape, I gotta take him. I'm telling you, I gotta take him because guess what? At the end of the day, for the Detroit Lions, I like Montez Sweat. You know what I'm saying? Montez Sweat is different from Josh Allen. Montez Sweat is a former Michigan State Spartan. Went to JUCO route, left Michigan State for whatever reason it was. Montez Sweat is other than Nick Bosa, and I haven't watched a lot of tape on Nick Bosa. I watched him. Montez Sweat has great hands when he's pass rushing. Montez Sweat hand play is very, very good to go with some very good athleticism. He ain't the athlete that Josh Allen is, but his hand game is good. You know what I'm saying? He's able to, use his hands to create separation and get off and sack. Long rangey kid, 6'6". I like him a lot. But like I said before, the Lions can go 2 or 3 routes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Michigan guy. The Lions can go 2 or 3 routes here. Okay? As far as with the whole franchise. Personally, if you want to keep Matthew Stafford, hey, look here, I'm not going to argue with you. All I'm saying is it's insanity. Like if we go outside right now and I take my head and I bang it against the brick wall outside of my house, bang it, bang it, bang it, bang it for 10 fucking times and keep getting the same results. That's insanity. If you keep trying Matthew Stafford for 10 years against winning teams and not win the playoff game, it's the same freaking results. You ain't gonna make them wear it. I'm not gonna make no dent in the side of my house, and Matthew Stafford is not gonna bust through and make a playoff in his 10th year. If everything has to be perfect around Matthew Stafford in an imperfect world with an imperfect organization, guess what? He ain't the guy. If he couldn't do it with Calvin, he couldn't do it with Joik, he couldn't do it with Reggie, he couldn't do it with Golden and Calvin, he couldn't make these things happen. Guess what? You got to move on to him at some point, and now is the time to prepare to move on. Now is the time to take the right thing from the Patriot way and not just bring a bunch of Patriot coaches and a past Patriot players. Now is the time to draft your fucking Jimmy Garoppolo or get you Jacoby Brissett and start grooming him for the future. Because if Matthew Stafford, hypothetically, if you are a Matthew Stafford guy and you like Stafford and Stafford go down, we are fucked. We don't have nothing behind Stafford. Matt Castle, we guaranteed not to win a game. I'd rather see Dan Orlovsky back there again. But that serves 2 purposes. Because if that after June, you can trade Matthew Stafford, I think, in June, the end of June or after June. You can trade Matthew Stafford, and it's only a $10 million cap hit. But you have the cap space to carry a quarterback because now the NFL draft is capped. It's slotted about how much a quarterback can make or how much a player can make. So it's not a big cap hit. You can groom Kyle Murray behind Matthew Stafford. Or if you feel better and you get Dwayne Haskins, you can groom Dwayne Haskins. If you like Drew Lock from Missouri, you like Daniel Jones from Duke, you like Will Grier from West Virginia. One of my personal favorites is Jarrett Stidham from Auburn. If you like him, you can groom him behind Matthew Stafford for a couple years or a year, and then you proceed to do what you need to do. But at the end of the day, it's time to start preparing for a life without Matthew Stafford. Now, what else you can do is you could bring in a Teddy Bridgewater, or you could bring in a lesser, younger veteran quarterback and try to develop him. Could Connor Cook develop under them? I doubt it. The Lions can't even develop Matthew Stafford fully. But my whole thing about it is with Matthew Stafford, you got Oregon quarterback next year, 2 years, and next year you got Tua. The year after that, you got the kid from Clemson. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Lawrence. You got options though. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if Matthew Stafford dropped dead tomorrow, or Matthew Stafford decide I'm done, I'm retired, I'm tired of taking this ass whooping with the Lions, or if he get injured in training camp, what do you have Are Will Greer staying in college? I didn't know that. Let me double check that. But behind Matthew Stafford, what do you have? Nothing. So you have to really evaluate and prepare for life after that. I don't see he return to college. He coming back. I mean, no, he not. He's in the combine, so he not. Will Greer playing. He in the draft pool, so I don't know where you get that from. But like I said before, if Kyle Murray or I think Dwayne Haskins is actually the perfect fit behind Matthew Stafford, a guy that only started 1 year in Ohio State, a guy that you can groom, a guy that got a good arm, a guy that's similar to Matthew Stafford that you wanted to change their offense around for Dwayne Haskins. Him and Matthew Stafford athletic ability is on par with each other. Both big kids, strong arm. Dwayne Haskins is about 3 inches taller than Stafford. I think he's around 6'5", big kid, but him and Stafford have some of the same abilities. Now, talk about Kyle Murray. I'm all in on Kyle Murray. I don't know why. He's dynamic, and it's not a big risk there. If you miss on Kyle Murray, so the fuck what? The Lions been bad for the last 10, 20 years. Um, and if Kyle Murray ain't that good, he ain't that good. I understand. At the end of the day, I mean, we done had top 10 picks before. We took Eric Ebron over Odell Beckham and Aaron fucking Donald when we could have had Aaron Donald and then Dominican Sue together. So at the end of the day, I think Kyle Murray may go number one. I made the Cardinals may trade back a bit and pick him. I do think Kyle Murray is going to go inside the top five. Height checked out, hands checked out, weight checked out for the most part. Things worry you about the weight situation. I'm not really worried about the height. In today's game, it's not as physical as it once was, but he's a dynamic player. Another guy that was a 1 year starter that you wonder why didn't it work at Texas A&M, but it worked at Oklahoma, but it did work. Strong arm kid, but at the end of the day, I think Dwayne Haskins may be a better fit for the Lions, but if the Lions want to make a splash, they want to be different, they want to sell tickets, continue to sell tickets, they want to sell a ton of jerseys, Kyle Murray, maybe they don't want to put a lot of unwarranted weight on Matthew Stafford's back. But just looking at the quarterbacks, like I said before, I wait for Jarrett Stidham. I wait for Jarrett Stidham to really check later in the draft. And I like what is going on. Obviously I had to step back in Arbor, but hey, sometimes you gotta look around these kids and see what was right and what was not right. But like I said before, I like him a lot at the quarterback position. But like George said, it's a lot of quarterbacks coming up in the next couple years, but they need security behind Matthew Stafford. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater, maybe Jarrett Stidham, maybe Will Greer, maybe Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Kyle Murray, Dwayne Haskins. I think this is the perfect year to have a developmental quarterback behind Matthew Stafford and start building towards that thing. If Stafford somehow plays at a high level, then you know what? You got an asset, you can move it, you can trade it, you can get something for it. But my third thing about Matthew Stafford, I continue with the draft, is what you do is you water it down, you dumb down the offense, do what Darrell Bell will do best. Level a lot of heavy sets, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 running back, a lot of full house, a lot of power running game. What you do is you change it and run it 20 to 30 times a game. You cut back Stafford dropbacks to 15, 10 to 15, 20 dropbacks again. You become a run heavy team. You become a play action team. Windows get wider for Stafford. 8, 9 men get in the box for Stafford. You got 2 guys on the outside that could beat you in Jones, Galladay. Galladay is now learning to play the slot. He's becoming a better route technician. Find you a tight end. You become a heavy set play action, heavy run offense. What you do is then you build you an elite defense, in which the Lions are not too far away from elite defense if they spend money in free agency. Sean, salute, appreciate it for checking in. You build your elite defense. And how you build your elite defense, like I said before, it's a bunch of value picks you can go out there and get, which I don't want to get too heavy in free agency. But what you can do is you can get you a CJ Mosley, middle linebacker, move Davis to the outside, come back, get you a Bradley Roby. Denver's not going to franchise tag him. He's a good guy. You got Mike Ford to back him up. Tease Tabor sound like him and Jamal Agnew, according to Bob Quinn, may battle for the nickel. You know what I'm saying? Then again, is Tracy Walker ready or not? See what Earl Thomas want. Or if Tracy Walker is ready to play with Quadre Diggs, you solid up there. You got Eli Hero, Romeo Rockwell on the outside rushing. You put Devin Kennard hand in the dirt. You bring back Ziggy Ansah for cheap. Nobody gonna pay him to be a situational defensive end. You get one more defensive tackle to play second team with A'Shawn Robinson. You continue to build around that, and that would change the fortunes of that team, especially with the time of possession, a run heavy offense. But you take the franchise off of Matthew Stafford back, you put it on the defense, you put it on Kerryon Johnson, you put it on Zach Zenner, and you put it on the running back. That's just my personal opinion on the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they're gonna go three ways about it. They can get them an elite talented prospect this year, you know, and groom him behind Matthew Stafford and have him ready. Like I said, after June, I believe it's only a $10 million cap hit if you move Stafford. Then they can get a veteran quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater this year, or they can go into they can go into later drafts and look at Herbert, look at Trevor Lawrence, look at Tua, look at these other quarterbacks as well, or they can take a quarterback later in the draft this year and develop them this year. So the Lions have a couple options how they want to approach this Matthew Stafford thing. A lot of people's favorite option is probably going to be build an elite defense and make Stafford a game manager. And elite run game. I'm not mad at you. If you build an elite run game, guess what? You don't need offensive lineman. They're a dime a dozen. If you get offensive linemen going moving forward instead of moving back all the time, it has a lot of deficiencies. It make pass blocking a lot better when you get them big fellas rolling on the front foot and pushing defensive tackles down. But in a perfect world, and I'm gonna be talking about this number 8 pick in multiple streams and multiple videos. So this is pretty much prequel to sequels. I like Landon Collins as well, but I think he's gonna be more expensive than Earl Thomas, I believe. Just my personal, I could be wrong. Landon Collins is an alpha male. He's one of those guys that talk a lot in the locker room. Maybe guys don't want that, but in a realistic world, like I said before, I see guys falling. You know, I think it's a quarterback that's gonna rise in the top 10. Yeah, I really do think it is, and that's gonna have an opportunity for Lions to trade out of 8, move back. But in the position they in, I believe, you know, like I said before, I like Montez Sweat, long kid, great hands. He remind me of kind of like an Osi Umenyiora, maybe without the super athletic ability. He's in a build of the freak Javon Curse, Simeon Rice. He may not have the explosion off the ball, but he's explosive enough off the ball, mixed with his ability to really his pass rushing with his hands to really like Montez Sweat. I love Montez Sweat at number 8 for the Lions. Ed Oliver, I like him as well too. A little undersized, but you know, him and Deshaun Hand can wreck some things on known passing downs right there. But it depends. You know, what if they go out there in free agency and the Lions grab Trey Flowers? You know, Jadeveon Clowney today turned down a contract from the Texans. So that means he's gonna be hard to negotiate with. Maybe they can get a Frank Clark. Shout out to the University of Michigan. Maybe they can get another defensive end out there, DeMarcus Lawrence. If they go out there and spin on the end, that means we looking at more of an Ed Oliver. You know, we're looking more of a Derek White. We're looking at Devin Bush. We're looking at moving back. You know, and let's talk about Greedy Williams. Greedy Williams, one of my friends today, he live in Alabama, Birmingham, and college friends, whatever. One of my friends was saying today that Greedy Williams is too skinny and he's 6'3", 184 pounds, and he plays too high. Now, I haven't done a lot of tape on Greedy Williams. 6'3" corner, not sure exactly what he's going to run, but at 184 pounds, he better be running 4.44. Early, anything under 4.45 will be acceptable. But obviously, he have weight issues. You know what I'm saying? Skinny, long, lanky, susceptible to just looking at his frame to get injured. Is he gonna get his nose dirty? But we know LSU produces nothing but gems. Even Morris Claiborne, who is a free agent that could be a pick for Lions, he rebuilt himself with the New York Jets. He's a formidable the cornerback that I think one day could be a Pro Bowl cornerback in the right defense. But LSU breeds cornerback. So does Ohio State. Greedy Williams is a nice long cornerback, handsy guy, but the weight scares me. The weight scares me. And the thing about the Lions, they need an impact player. If it's not a quarterback, they need an impact player now. They need a player that come in there and start now. And I think with Greedy Williams' size, I think injury is going to be a problem. I think 184 pounds. Technique is going to be a problem early on. And I have to watch more tape of him. But if his technique and he is as high as they say he is, he going to get ate up. So you want somebody at number 8, if you're going to stay there, you know, you want somebody that's going to stay there. You want somebody to come in and start right now. If this dude, like George say, is not physical, which I can tell at 184 pounds, he not, and he grabs when he get beat, he obviously, if I move back, if I want Greedy Williams, I'll move back and get him. Um, but looking at where we at, I think Montez Sweat is probably going to be the best player available. The best hypothetical is Nick Bosa get a medical red flag and teams start passing on him. Nick Bosa. We're looking at Rashad Gary. We're looking at Ed Oliver. Dexter Lawrence probably later in the draft. He a guy that got caught with whatever he got caught with. So his character issues, he might fall to second, third round. That's value. Who else we looking at? Looking at Devin White, Derek Bush, smaller middle linebackers. So you don't really know how they're going to really fit in. That's why I love CJ Mosley so much. CJ Mosley, same height as them, but great in the run game, field run gaps, and great in coverage. Jared Davis, not that great in coverage. You know what I'm saying? Not that great in coverage. Jared Davis, it's got all the speed, athletic ability, but it's too much speed. You know what I'm saying? He good at rushing the passer. When he slow down and actually make the tackle, you want Davis on the outside. You want somebody like Mosley on the inside. If I had a number one target for free agency, not to make it about free agency, we did the stream last week. I really want CJ Mosley to play that middle. Right now, I'm not sure. I'm all in on Montez Sweat, but I don't know how the combine is going to fall, Sean. So when the combine falls, it's gonna be injuries. It's gonna be quarterbacks that rise. It's gonna be players that fall. It's gonna be players that rise. But if I had to look at it and it's gonna fall like I think it's gonna fall, Montez Sweat will probably be my pick right now because I know he's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's gonna be solid. But we can't sleep on Ed Oliver. It depends on who we're going to free agency. If we able to get a top defensive end in free agency and we retain Ziggy Ansah to be a situational pass rusher or defensive end, excuse me, then now that says, okay, we need a middle linebacker. We need a cornerback. So if they address the middle linebacker with Mosley, it's the only guy I can see them addressing it with, or Brandon Marshall from the Broncos, who just said he wanted to come back to the Denver Broncos. Then, you know what I'm saying? All right, then, we Marshall or Mosley, boom. So then we know we got a cornerback need. Do we address the cornerback need with Bradley Roby, with Ronald Darby? It's a guy with the Chicago Bears. He's more of a nickel. So where do we address this cornerback need at? I like Bradley Roby. Another guy from Ohio State, DBU, just like LSU's DBU. The Lions should really fill a lot of holes in free agency with good mid-level players. Mosley's going to cost, but Brandon Marshall will be cheaper. I like Mosley a lot. He comes from a good defense in Baltimore. I like Bradley Roby. So then if we can fill a few of them holes, hypothetically, we find a middle linebacker, we find a corner, we find a defensive end, we like Trey Flowers, whoever it may be. Ed Oliver looks like to be the pick. Montez Sweat still can be the pick. So you never can have enough pass rushers, but Ed Oliver's in play. Montez Sweat's in play. Moving back, taking the tight end is in play. If they don't address the cornerback position in the draft, free agency, Greedy Williams is back in play. So it's a lot of different things they need to do. But if it falls how it's going to fall right now, which it won't, because I'm telling you, you're going to have a quarterback that creep up into the top 10, making it 3. You're going to have players that fall. You're going to have players that rise. It's going to knock Josh Allen down a couple spots. It may knock Nick Bosa down a couple spots. You might have some guys that trade up and try to get them. A lot of things are going to really, in the top 10 is really going to fall funny. I'm telling you, the quarterbacks is the Lions is expected to have about $40 million in cap. They got a ton of cap this year. The capologist, they fired him. He went to Arizona. They hired the Arizona capologist. After this, and he was from New England. He had New England ties, by the way. They fired the Arizona capologist. They fired our capologist. He went to Arizona. We hired their capologist. He came here. He had Patriot ties. But the capologist we just got rid of, he got rid of all the dead money. He had a whole bunch of 1-year contracts. The Lions are definitely in agreement about spending money. But does the Fords really want to spend money? What's so funny about the Fords, and to kind of get in finance, the Fords rarely pay taxes on their company. The Fords are Ford Motor Company, to be exact. They running a tax-free enterprise, or a company. They're not really paying no taxes. So at the end of the day, why are they being cheap with the Lions franchise? They about to get another $250 million check for TV money. Chrysler don't pay no taxes. Ford really pay taxes. Amazon pay no taxes this year after making $11 billion in profit. Netflix made a ton of money, didn't pay no taxes this year. So it's just telling you that at the end of the day, the Fords are not paying taxes on their main company. Why the freak they not putting more money into this franchise? The Fords don't care. As long as we go down there, keep drinking, keep paying the tailgate, keep parking, keep buying Slows barbecue inside the stadium, keep coming down there watching. As long as they still hope during training camp and preseason, Lions fans gonna come down and spend the money. Imagine if the Lions, I mean, if the Pistons got that very same support at Little Caesars Arena, man. Streetwise Television salute. He says, CJ Mosley can't teach Jared Davis how to cover. I say we draft Devin White. The scheme is more important for linebackers more than the defensive line, even though we need the ends, in my opinion. The thing about Devin White is he's small, and so is CJ Mosley. CJ Mosley is a little bit more heavier. He's small, so you replacing Jared Davis with another guy that's the same size as him. You know what I'm saying? You know, most linebackers back in the day used to be 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". What CJ Mosley is, ain't no teaching moments for him. He been there, he done that. You know, at 6'2", he can fill the hole for the run game. He excellent in coverage. There's no teaching moments. You don't have to teach him that. Middle linebacker is the quarterback of most defenses. A lot of teams have the plays regurgitated from the middle linebacker. So I would rather go with a veteran there. I'd rather go with a veteran at the cornerback position, and I go young at the defensive end position, to be honest. You know, if they can bring in a veteran defensive end, that's cool. I'd rather go with vets, especially at middle linebacker and cornerback. Cornerback and middle linebacker, there's too many learning experiences there. You know, it's too many. If you got an opportunity to get a really good veteran middle linebacker like Mosley, I think you got to get him. You know, if he's going to break the bank, it costs to be the boss. Cornerback, Bradley Roby all day. I love Bradley Roby at cornerback. I know one thing, homeboy can beat him. What's homeboy name? Neville Lawson not gonna beat him. I tell you that right now. Neville Lawson is not going to smoke Bradley Roby. You know what I'm saying? He can't smoke Mike Ford. But I love veterans at those positions first, and I would look to probably draft a younger middle linebacker down the road. Mosley can cover, he can tackle, he a dog in the run game, and he got pedigree. He got credit. Absolutely not a wide receiver. I'm not thinking about a wide receiver. Y'all keep wanting to put receivers around. Y'all keep wanting to put receivers around. Will Montez Sweat play more of it? No, he's a defensive end. He's a defensive end. He's more of a defensive end. He's a prototypical defensive end. 6'6", long. Got great hand play. Great pass rushing moves as far as with his hand. I love his hand play. Being guys like me that play defensive line position, you understand how good long arms and hand play is. You know, and he got the good opportunity to really, you know, smack guys' heads down. He could bend the corner. He ain't the Josh Allen type coming off the edge from the Khalil Mack linebacker position. Personally, and people might not like this. Personally, I would move up and get Josh Allen. You know, the offensive lineman. I see Khalil Mack. I see Von Miller. I see a once in a lifetime pass rusher from Josh Allen. I see a mature guy with no character issues. But guess what? I'm fine at staying at 8. I'm fine at staying at 8 and taking Montez Sweat as well. You know what I'm saying? But free agency is going to tell me pretty much where the Lions going to go. Tight end, I haven't done too much evaluation, but TJ Hockenson, they calling him Gronk, but he's not even rated as a top tight end. His teammate is. And it could change. Noah Fant from Iowa is TJ Hockenson teammate. Last year we had Kyle Rudolph might be cut out of a cap issue with the line. The Vikings are cutting a lot of guys. I heard Trey Waynes is on the trading block from Michigan State. They go another Sparty. I heard they talking about trading Xavier Rose. I heard Anthony Barr didn't want to be there last year. He hit the free agent market. And also Darqueze Dennard is out there for former Michigan State fans. Don't know why it didn't work on the Bengals. The Bengals produced excellent young cornerbacks. Don't know why it didn't work. Maybe it was a scheme thing, but I look like you can get Noah Fant in the second round. I mean, TJ Hockenson in the second round. You may have to trade back up in the first to get TJ Hockenson, you know. But if he like Gronk and he block and he catch, I see a thing where the Lions maybe trade back And I can see a situation if they like TJ Hawkinson so much, and maybe they trade back with the Raiders, and they get the Raiders Chicago Bear first round pick next year, or get the Oakland Raider draft pick next year, and get a third this year. I can see opportunity where the Raiders might want to trade back up into the top 8, and maybe they see a quarterback like Kyle Murray that fall. Maybe they see a quarterback like Dwayne Haskins that fall. Maybe they like Drew Lock or something like that. I can see an opportunity with that 8th pick for the Lions. It's going to be a huge opportunity to move back. A huge. Barr is another guy that I guess the Lions fans hated him. It's a guy named Realistic Randy. Good channel, man. Vikings guy. They do a podcast, and I'm not a Viking fan, but the shit is good though. But he hated Anthony Barr last year, and I see why, because Anthony Barr hasn't been getting the effort. He's one of those guys that didn't deserve to make the Pro Bowl. Xavier Rhodes will be a good look, though. He can take a lot of stress off our safeties. Would the Vikings be willing to trade him to us is the question. Would you rather trade him in division? They draft him to stop Calvin Johnson. Truth be told, that's exactly what came out. So the whole tight end thing, I can see a place where the Lions could trade back out the 8th spot, trade with the Raiders, get the Raiders next year, the first round draft pick, and get their third round this year. I can see that happening. The Raiders want to trade 8th and Murray fall or Haskins fall, or it's another quarterback they like. They're not truly in love with Derek Carr. I can say that right now. And they stand in Oakland, for one more year and perhaps another year until the stadium is ready in Las Vegas. I plan to make a trip to their stadium in Las Vegas when it actually opens. And I plan to make a trip to Las Vegas, hopefully, God willing, in the next couple months. So yeah, so pretty much a lot is going on. It's very premature to talk about draft positioning, but I think a potential trade with the Raiders if a quarterback fall is something to look at. You know what I'm saying? That's huge to look at. What we do know is that the Vikings are headed for a huge turnover. Sheldon Richardson probably won't be back. Ever since he got caught smoking weed or driving reckless with his kid in the back, he ain't been the same player with the Jets. But you can see Sheldon Richardson is leaving. Anthony Barr is leaving. They might get rid of Trey Waynes. They might be looking to get away Xavier Rhodes. Vikings changing. Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers not getting no younger. Randall Cobb won't be back. So they can be an Antonio Brown sweepstakes. And like I said before, the Packers got a lot of work to do. If Aaron Rodgers can't be Superman, that window may have closed for the Packers. But Antonio Brown would help. But defensively, they got a lot of young cornerbacks, Jair Alexander. They got a lot of young players. I'm not scared of them. The Bears is the team to really look at. Now, if the Bears get Antonio Brown, I still wouldn't be super scared. I just don't believe in Trubisky. I don't. But he getting better. He's a mobile threat. But I just don't believe that arm is there for a cold weather city like Chicago. But defensively, the Bears are scary. And will be scary for quite some time. So I think that's the class of the division. But the thing about the Bears is they the Vikings last year. They the Jaguars last season. I mean, 2 seasons ago now. And I'll answer that question in a minute. Is that now they ain't sneaking up on nobody. They not the hunter. They're the hunted now. And when young teams become the hunted with young unproven quarterbacks, it's a problem. I believe the MC North is up for grabs next year. But somebody say Xavier. Okay, I seen that one. Do you see them getting O-line help in the first few rounds? I do. I can see them getting O-line help as soon as number 8, excuse me. You got Jonah Williams from Alabama that can play outside, play inside. He might be getting rated as a guard. Jawan Taylor from Florida is probably the top right tackle out there. So if the Lions go heavy defensive free agency, I can see them taking an offensive tackle like Jawan Taylor from Florida. And he's starting at the right side. And I can see your boy Rick Wagner getting cut. And I believe they will convince TJ Lane to retire, in my opinion. I think, y'all go. I'll open up for questions right now. Y'all can ask any questions. I'll get to them. He said, I think the Lions interested in the quarterback position at the press conference. Patricia gave Condon put more stress on the quarterback. It could be. Like I said, that number 8 spot is going to be very, very it's going to be very tricky because it's going to be a quarterback that falls It's gonna be a quarterback that falls or go another quarterback that goes inside the top 10. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be a Will Greer, and I'm telling you, look out for this kid, man, to make a real move. I think he was good at the Senior Bowl. The Stidham kid, look for him. But I think offensive line is definitely in play for the Lions at number 8. Um, should the Lions go after Le'Veon Bell? Him and Kerryon Johnson are similar to each other. They make a great tandem. You can put them both in the backfield. You can line one up for a receiver. I like the idea of a Le'Veon Bell, but usually a guy that set out a year, a guy that had question marks with injuries at the wrong time in the playoffs, a guy that been suspended for weed. In my opinion, I don't think the Lions are the franchise that can take on that risk. Character issues. Martha Ford don't want anybody with character issues. They won't sign Le'Veon Bell. I wouldn't be mad if they did. I like them, but it is what it is. It'd be nice if they brought Le'Veon in and AB over, but I think more emphasis to be put on defense. I'm tired of putting weapons around Stafford. And I may go live tomorrow about it. Or I may do a video later tonight or tomorrow about Stafford. But I'm tired of them spending money in Stafford and shit don't change. Go heavy on defense. Make Stafford a game manager on offense. Run the ball. I don't think AB going to the Bears. AB going to follow that money. Trubisky is not good, though. He's still improving. He's still improving. I think he's trending the right way. He's still learning. Remember, he wasn't – I don't think he was a long starter in North Carolina. Chicago going for it though. That give him AB a great opportunity to make a Super Bowl run with that defense. Anthony Miller is huge if he get healthy. Allen Robinson from Detroit, huge. You know, I hate the Bears, but I love some of the players they actually got. I was an Anthony Miller fan when Paxton Lynch, was his quarterback in Memphis. I would watch some of the Memphis game. He's a hell of a player. Trey Burton, I was a guy that, if you go look in the archives, I wanted the Lions to get last year a tight end. He done well, but as far as AB to the Lions, I just don't like it. They could offer Marvin Jones in the second and the next year third and see what the Steelers bite on it, but I'm just tired of putting weapons around Matthew Stafford, and it just don't work, and it don't equate to wins. I want to go heavy on defense, heavy on the offensive line, heavy on running game, and just be a predominantly heavy run offense and be a play action pass offense. This is my opinion. If we're gonna draft a wide receiver, we should draft this wide receiver from Iowa State. Excuse me. He's a playmaker that breaks tackles. Put him in the slot, even though he's 6'6". Third or fourth round. Yeah, I mean that's a value. I think. Like I said, once again, it's going to depend on how they address Marvin Jones' situation, how they address free agency. I talked about I like John Jones, man, and that motherfucker failed another drug test today. But fight Stallone though. I was talking about John Brown. I like John Brown to be that deep threat. Like I said, I'm just tired of investing picks on offense. Third or fourth round, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they took a receiver then. But I'm looking more than trenches third and fourth round. I'm looking more at defensive tackle. I'm looking more at maybe a running back like Mike Rebber from Ohio State. I'm looking more of an interior lineman, right tackle, right guard. But like I said before, don't rule out an offensive lineman at number 8. At the right tackle, that Juwan character, he right tackle, but he might can play a little bit left. But Taylor Decker, I don't know if they're gonna pick up his 5th-year option or not. Think about a year away from that. Maybe we can get Brate from Tampa. I love Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate and Jameis Winston had phenomenal chemistry. Let's talk about O.J. Howard last year. That's a rookie tight end that actually had a good year last year until he got injured. And O.J. Howard was supposed like people talking about him going in the top 5 as a tight end. He had a good year for a rookie tight end last year. If the Lions were to draft a tight end, I wasn't an advocate of O.J. Howard last year. But O.J. Howard would have been a good pick last year. Who we picked last year? I can't even freaking remember. Who did the Lions pick last year? Damn, who the fuck did we pick last year? Anybody know who we drafted last year? Shit, I'm just drawing a blank. We drafted Kerryon and Frank Ragnow. My bad. Yeah, I dubbed him what the fuck Frank Ragnow. I remember it now. I'm gonna say OJ Howard had a bigger impact than him last year. OJ Howard was big last year. He won me a ton of money on FanDuel. So I like Cameron Brate, great red zone option. That means we would have to drop Roberts or don't bring Luke Wilson back. I like the guy from Atlanta, Tulu Falafala from Atlanta. Keep him. But I like Cameron Brate, and I still want them to draft a tight end at some point. But OJ Howard was a beast. Was that 2 years ago? Or was it last year? OJ Howard was a good ass pick. I fucked up on that one. OJ Howard was going deep. OJ Howard is a beast. You know, I'd have took him over Frank Ragnow. But are they gonna take put Frank Ragnow at center now? Because golly, man, you draft the fucking guard and put him at a center and put him at guard. But we'll see. Bray. Okay, I read that one. That was Dan H. I'm gonna start reading your name. Fred Jackson, yeah, D up. Hits NDC said agree heavy on defense O line. Trevor says, yeah, and they got OJ Howard now. I do pick pick for him. Man, dude. I was fucked up on that one. He good. Justice Kimbrew says, let's take Greedy Williams in the first and best available linebacker in the second. We just talked about him. I gotta watch his tape, but I don't like him. 6'3", 184, not physical. I don't want to take a rookie cornerback. I'd rather go veteran and Bradley Roby. I go rookie third, fourth, fifth round, develop. Rookie cornerbacks don't transition well into the NFL. Marshawn Lattimore did for the New Orleans Saints. Marcus Peterson did, but I think that's more of an anomaly than whatever than it being a trend. Greedy's just too small, man. At 184, we'll see what he run, but he play high. Not sure about him. I truly rather go Bradley Roby in the off season or Brandon Marshall, C.J. Mosley in the middle, and then I'll let everything fall. But if they evaluate him and he be a beast, maybe you're right. I'm not the hacker. A'Shawn Robinson contract in this year. Maybe they bring him back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. I didn't like him in this two gap scheme. He didn't make no noise, and plus he was a locker room problem last year. He just wanted to win though. Uh, Marcy Productions, Ragnow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. I had to remember. His NDC say, I like Ragnow, but he is a run pusher and not a pass blocker. Yeah, that means they need to run the ball. If you establish the run, keep the questions coming. I'm gonna keep rolling. If you establish the run, you don't have to worry about your pass blocking to be better because they don't know if you running up or pass blocking and you wearing the defensive line out. Now you pass blocking, you make it easier on you. So Lions need to run more and help their offensive linemen mask their pass blocking issues. Dan A said, "Do you think Mike Roberts has a chance to emerge as starting tight end or a decent one at that?" Yeah, I think he could be a decent tight end. Big hands, good catch radius. But Stafford and Jim Bob Cooter they don't run a tight end friendly offense. They just don't. But Cooter's gone. So even Daryl Bevel hasn't had a lot of successful tight ends that I remember. Jimmy Graham, died under his watch in Seattle, but Jimmy Graham continues to die even with the greatest thrower of football, Aaron Rodgers, pun intended. Justice Kimbrew said Devin White looks like a baller in the first. Could be. I'd rather take a veteran running back, linebacker. But if they evaluate him and he good. But you got inexperienced linebackers. You got Devin White. You got Jared Davis, who seemed to be inexperienced still, and Christian Jones just there when they in the base 4-3. But Greedy Williams, even the best corner in the draft, isn't the best corner in the draft. Beast mode 21840. He goes on to say Byron Murphy is. I think Byron Murphy is from the University of Georgia, I believe that is. If my brain serves me correctly, let's see if I'm just getting fucking old, or do I still can remember some shit. Let's see. Oh, Byron Murphy's from Washington. Yeah, my brain is getting old. More pressure on Bob Quinn or Matt P this year. Bob Quinn because he hired Matt Patricia. He's been here longer. Most definitely, Trevor. More pressure on Bob. Justice Kimbrew say side to side, him and Davis would be nice. Tight end or offensive line at number 8. Got to see what falls goal line in free agency. Once we see what free agency, how they play it in free agency, then I think we can make more suggestions. We can make a more better prediction. So I have to see how they approach free agency. But if just looking at it right now, if the draft was before free agency, I would probably go offensive lineman with Jawan. Was it Jawan Taylor from Florida? I like him. If we go on guard and we want to kind of follow what what Indianapolis did last year, I say Jonah Williams. He can play guard and a tackle, but I think he's projected to be a guard. So yeah. Intercepting, man. Fuck free agency. It's about the draft. It is about the draft, but at the end of the day, free agency come first. So that's just what it is. So you got players in free agency that's fairly young. You got Demarcus Lawrence, you got Jadeveon Clowney, you got proven commodities. In the draft, you don't know what the fuck to expect sometimes. Sometimes you do hit it big, but middle linebacker is a complicated place to be, and cornerback are two complicated positions to really count on somebody coming and doing their job and being successful off rip. It just is. And you looking at White, he's an undersized linebacker. I think the Lions need more proven commodities at the cornerback position and the middle linebacker position. If you think, if you think he is Marcus Peters at corner, or you think he is Marshawn Lattimore, then you take him. It's just simple as that. If we can snag Frank Clark, though, hey, I like Frank Clark. I think he might get franchise tag. If not, he has some character issues from back in Michigan. So Martha might say, yeah, Devin White is a Davis 2.0. He hits way too high. He needs to work on his one-on-one tackling. Yep. Do you think black quarterbacks will win a Super Bowl anytime soon? Anyway, soon? I think Russell Wilson got a good opportunity to win one again. I do. Cam Newton may not play next year, or may miss half of next year with a shoulder. Other than that, Patrick Mahomes is pretty good. So we have to see. 185, Justice Campbell, but he's playing higher than the ball, bro. Rodney Jones says if the Lions don't get at least three high-profile names in free agency, then they're not trying to make no big steps towards winning the division because it's wide open. Yeah, like I said before, I agree with Roddy because the Bears are going to become the hunted, not the hunter, no more. So I think it might be some type of slippage there. I do agree with him on that. But when he say three high profile, I don't think they need to be Clowney, Lawrence, Errol Thomas, and I just think they need the right fits. If they like Brandon Marshall at middle linebacker, bam. If they like Bradley Roby, I love Bradley Roby, bam. They like John Brown. They need three great fits more than high profile. They need three great fits. They need a Glover Quinn. They need a Golden Tate. They need those type of Martin Mayhew type of fits. They need great fits. Like I said before, I love C.J. Mosley. I love Bradley Roby. And I love John Brown as a fit for Lions in this offense. This is my personal opinion. Um, hold on. Anything head height, why he's wide. But the thing is, durability, my brother. 6'3", 185. What about, if you got to get his nose dirty in the run game? That's the things we looking at, man. Lions could get two big names in free agency. I'm not big on big names because a lot of times they don't work. Remember Jerry's Bird with the Saints? It didn't work. I'm more big on fits. I'm more big on value. I want them to get value for guys. Because a lot of times you pay, especially a lot of these defensive linemen, you pay them the money, they get lazy, they get fat, they start eating prongs and steak and shit like that. They get out of shape. Give the money to guys that you know that's going to come and work hard and still got something to work for. You know what I'm saying? So I want three ideal fits for the Lions. They don't have to spend big money. Great fits. That's what we want. Great fits. So. But when you get big, when you go spend money, you got to play above market value when you're the Lions. But let's keep going on. We could trade for, oh man, get the hell out of here, Jason Witten, please. What do you think of Justin Lane from Michigan State? We can be a depth guy. We can steal him, kind of like Kenny Galladay. Yeah, he ain't have a lot of good quarterback play at Michigan State this year. So yeah, it's one of those dudes that I think it's the taller guy. I think he is. I like him as well. Maybe somewhere down the line. Clowney is Ziggy. They both don't stay. That's not really true about Clowney. To be honest, Clowney's been fairly healthy ever since being injured. So durability ain't an issue with Clowney. My issue with Clowney is that if he get that money, he gonna be a little bit lax. You know what I'm saying? That's my issue. He's been fairly durable. You look at the numbers; he ain't been really injured. Good player, good scheme fit, but I worry about how ambitious in his motor if he get paid. That's my problem with it. Um, you know, Beast Mode say White not the best pure linebacker in this draft. Khalil Hodges is a pure linebacker in this draft. Now check him out, Zach Page. If we sign Landon Collins, do we move Tracy Walker to corner, or do we use him as a situational safety? They get a safety in free agency. That means Tracy Walker is going to be a situation. He's going to be the third safety, situational safety. a backup nickel. I think he's gonna be in that the thing. Maybe maybe Quadre go back to full time nickel. A lot of things can happen with that. Tracy Walker and Quadre Diggs are um, versatile. Remember kind of like our Don Carey utility guy. They both kind of like him. But I like the fit with Landon Collins and Tracy Walker better. Just thinking about what they could be. But I love Quadre. Quadre is an enforcer. I think Landon Collins gives the Lions um, a leader. He's real vocal. If you remember, he had the mama who got mad because he chose Alabama over LSU. E. Marcy producer said, yeah, he got to hit the gym a couple years before he do anything. Not today. One starter. Um, who wins the best three you have in mind for your Who's the best three? Montez Sweat. Uh, Montez Sweat is one. Kyle Murray is one, and Haskins. So those are three I'm looking at. But no quarterback. I would go Sweat. Just in a realistic world, what I'm saying, that's going to be there. Sweat, Ed Oliver, and Juwan, the offensive tackle from Florida. The 6'6" wide receiver from Florida State, wide receiver Kenny Galladay would be scary. I think the Lions need somebody to get vertical. They got two taller receivers, 6'2" Marvin Jones, 6'4" Kenny Galladay. They need a vertical threat. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Powell's a good slot threat, but they need more of a vertical threat, in my personal opinion. Here we go, Michigan State fan L.J. Scott at running back. Could be there. I think L.J. Scott might go undrafted. If you're looking for a later round corner, like the third or later, Lonnie Johnson and Joe Juwan Williams or whatever, he's out of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt been producing some Beast Mode been producing some good cornerbacks. We can get Mosley and Roby for $15 million or less. That's what I'm saying. Value, you got to think like your franchise think. If you catch my drift, go Lions, man. I like both of them. I'm telling you, I'm a huge fan of both of them. The stats show Clowney has not been injured, but his injuries hurt him through every season. Yeah, he banged up, but he played through them. Nobody's 100% perfect. LJ Scott is the best at third on the depth chart. I mean, he didn't he keep getting in trouble for losing his license, for his license being suspended. That shit was crazy. If the Oakland offered first two-letter first-round draft picks for our number 8, would you take them or would you want more? I'll take the 2, and I would want next year's third or fourth round or mid-round pick next year if I could. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion on that. John Ross, yeah, I think John Ross was a bad fit for Andy Dalton. I said that the day they took him. Andy Dalton barely can throw it far enough to reach AJ Green. You talking about a dude that run a 4.22? He'd be perfect fit in our offense, but especially if they run heavy and they do play action, John Ross get behind the defense, good fit. But I like John Brown more because he's more proven. But I wouldn't be mad at John Ross. We just need a quarterback who wants to win. Kyle Murray is that guy. Ain't gonna get no argument from me. I think the Lions have beat the wheel out of Matthew Stafford. Streetwise 7, if the Lions were about it, they would draft a running back in the later rounds. If they don't get one in free agency, they have a young backfield like Cleveland has exactly mid rounds. Like I said, Mike Weber out of Cass Tech out of Ohio State, so I like him. John Ross isn't available for trade. It was just a rumor. He available for trade. Trust me. They gonna trade his ass. It's a bad fit. He not productive. He available for trade. Trust me. He'll be gone. They'll move him. They'll move him. They don't have a quarterback to get him the ball. But I appreciate everybody for checking in. Um, I'll be back. I'm gonna do another live stream this weekend. Maybe Pistons, and then next week it'll be the Combine. So I'm gonna get back to more live streams on this channel, man. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all check my other channel, Goodfella Sports TV. Don't forget we on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can reach out to the email on this channel as well. All information is in the description. Once again, I appreciate everybody for jumping in, man. I'm continuing to stay on top of this draft stuff like last year. Stay on top of the free agency like last year. Like I said, we was the most active channel in the off season. My channel got suspended like 2 or 3 months last year. I appealed it at the 23rd and a half hour. As soon as I appealed it, they knocked all my strikes off my channel, and then we got the ball rolling. So I was gonna give up on this channel, but I appealed it, and now we here. Goodfella Sports TV is my other channel, just GODD Fella, Fella, all one word. Then Sports TV, two separate words. So check out that over there, man. We talk a lot of shit over there, man. So, but appreciate it. The real running back from Memphis is a baller. Hey, what about that cat? Before I get off, what about that cat from Colorado? Is he coming out this year? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Maybe he not coming out this year. I don't know if he was a running back. He was like a receiver running back for Colorado. I don't know how many people watch um Colorado versus the black and gold Colorado versus Nebraska this year when Martinez got hurt. Man, I think he might have came back. That dude next year gonna be a problem. Yeah, with the dreads. That Joker is, man, he cold, man. He must not came out this year. He can run the ball. Man, I don't think he came out this year. I don't think he came out this year. That Joker, man, that Joker. And they quarterback one day, it gonna be cold. They quarterback one day gonna be out cold. I don't know what his name is, but hey, man, him and that quarterback, they gonna be all right one day. But I appreciate everybody for checking in, man. Peace.